Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, to my YouTube channel. I'm so excited to be back with another tutorial. Today's tutorial is to show to you guys how I DIY this 2-in-1 bonnet cap. It's so easy and simple. Do you want to know how I DIY this? Now, let's go to the work table. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye. On today's tutorial, we are going to learn how to make this bonnet, this cap bonnet. It's going to be 2-in-1 bonnet without elastic. It's going to be with band and not elastic. So I'm going to use these two materials. I'm going to use this beautiful material and also the Ankara material also. This Ankara material, I'm going to use these two materials to achieve this bonnet without elastic 2-in-1 bonnet. You can use the black side of it or you can use the Ankara side of it. Anyone is your choice. So now let's get drafting. First, I'm going to use this to draft, and after that I'll use it to cut out the Ankara material. Now you measure out your desired length. It can be, your length can be between 11 inches to 14 inches, depending on how the volume that you want. If you want it to be big, you make it 14 inches or 13 inches. If you want it to be medium, you go with the 12. If you want it to be normal, you can use 10, 11 inches. It depends on your choice. How voluminous you want depends on the inches you will take. So now I'm going to take 13.5 inches. Half inches is to sew it to the band. Then 13 inches is the main bonnet. So now let us measure it out. So first, now it's like making your peplon blouse, cutting out your flare. So now first you fold it in one and then you fold it back again. So now I'm going to measure out my 13 before I'll cross it. Now I take my tape. I have enough is 16. I reduce it. I reduce the length. I need 13.5. Now it's 15. I reduce it more. Now it's 14, so it's okay. So I'm going to fold it back in this form. I'm going to fold it in this form again. I want to cut out my circle. So now I'm going to measure out 13.5 inches from this silk. It's a silk material. So now I'm going to measure out my 13 inches. I still have more, so I'm going to make sure that it's 13 inches so that I don't waste my material. So I fold it to have my 13.5 inches. What I need is 13.5 inches. Now I have my 13.5 inches. So now I'm going to measure all through 13.5. Do you see it? Here is my 13.5. Then I'll measure 13.5 all through. Now this is my 13.5 inches. Do you see it? Now let's open it up. That is 13.5. I'm going to use this now to cut out the Ankara material. Now I have cut out the Ankara material, also 13 inches, 13 and half. 13 is the main bonnet and half is to sew it in. So I've used it now to cut it out. Do you see it? So now the next thing to do is to cut out our band. And I have cut out some pieces. You remember the Ankara material is, the length is 45. So I cut out 45 by 7 inches. So the length of the Ankara, I measured it 45. Then the width is 45. The length is 45 and the width is 7. Do you see it? 7 inches, because when I want it to be 3. I want the band to be 3 inches. So by cutting out 7, it means when you fold half in here, then fold another half in here and bring it together, you are going to have your 3 inches. So that is what I did. So I cut out 2 of it. So it's going to be 90 inches by length. Then 2 of it, but I cut it in 45 inches. Do you see it? This is 45 by 7. So now the next thing is to start fixing our bonnet. So what you have to do is to take the right side of the materials facing each other. Now, this is the right side of the silk. This is the right side of the silk. This is the right side of the silk. Then I will now take the right side of the Ankara material and place on it. And this is the right side of the Ankara material. Then I place it on it. Do you see it? The right side facing each other. So now, from any side of the circles of your choice, from any side of the circles, then measure out 2 inches, 2 to 3 inches. Now I measure out 3 inches. From any side of it, measure out 3 inches. I measure out 3 inches. Then give it a straight line. Then from each of the 3 of this line that you gave, go in by ½ inch. Go in by ½ inch. And also ½ inch. So from there, that is 3 inches, connect it to this ½ inch. Do you see it? So this, we are going to cut it open. So now I'm going to use my pin to hold it so that it doesn't move around. Do you see it? So now we are going to cut this here open. Do you see we have cut it open? That is altogether what we took out here now is 1 inch. So now I'm going to sew it. I'm going to close it up. I'll take another ½ inch to close it up. I'm going to close it up with another ½ inch. After which I will turn it. If I close it up, then I will turn it. After turning it, then I'll give it a press. It will look beautiful. Then we will now start to attach it to our band. But I'm going to show to you guys step by step. So the first thing now is to close it up here with the machine. I'll close it up and I'll show it to you guys. Now guys, I have closed up here. Remember 1 inch that we took away here. I've closed it up. The reason of opening this place is to tie it at the back, so that when we put it on the band, you can be able to tie it at the back. That is the reason for opening it up here. So remember, it's right side facing each other. The right side of the black facing the right side of the Ankara material. So now I've closed it up and I've turned it. So this is the right side, and now this is the right side of the material that we are combining it with. So the next thing I did was to zigzag the edges, to use my machine for it to be easier. And after doing the zigzag, I now use the strongest line in my machine to run it so that I can pull it together. So now I run it with the longest stitch on my machine round so that I can pull it. So the next thing now is to start pulling it together. Remember, the hair circumference of woman is 22 or 23. So we are now going to draw it. We are now going to draw it gradually. Drawing it. Do you see what I'm doing? You do it gradually until you come to 23 inches. So you now take it easy. You draw it until you come to 23 inches. So after drawing it and you have your 23 inches, then you now take your band. Remember, this band, the length was 45. We cut out 2 pieces by 7 inches. Now I've closed it up. I've joined the 2 together. This is where I joined the 2 together. I join it together, and also I close some areas. So from this place that I joined, I left 12 inches open. From here, I measured 12 inches, which is here. I left it open, and from here, I close it to the edge. And at the edge, I curve it a bit to make it look nice. Do you see it? Also, I did the same thing at this side. After you finish doing it, you turn it over, and I gave it a good press. Do you see how it looks? So now, after drawing this to 22 inches of the human hair circumference, I will now take my band. I'll now take my band. This is the middle. This is the center point. So I will now put it together. I will now measure it, put it together. The edge, where that is the 12, I'll put it together. Then I will now place it here gradually, and I will sew it. But then I will show it to you guys. Now guys, can you see? I have now drawn it. I have drawn it to the size that I need, which is 22. I've drawn it. Do you see it now? You can also do this with your needle and thread. You can also do it with needle and thread. If the one of machine is a little bit difficult, because sometimes it breaks along the line, you can also use your needle and thread to do it. So now the next thing to do is to take our band. This is our band. From the where you join it, you measure from here, that you join it, you measure 11 inches on this side. You measure 11 inches on this side, and on the other side you also measure your 11 inches. Do you see it now? You measure your 11 inches. Now you now take your cap. You start arranging it on the band. You take it. You start arranging it from here. Do you see it? You place the first. Do you see it? You take it in this form. I want you to see what I'm doing. From the first place here, you place it on the 21 that you marked. Do you see it? You place it there. Or you can also turn it in this form and turn your band in this form, and you start placing it. From the 21 you marked, you place it here. The 12, the 11 inches that you marked out, you place it, and you start arranging it. You start arranging it until you come to the other side of 11 inches that you mark. While arranging it, you pin it with your pin. Just pin it down with your pin, which I will do. I will arrange it till I get to the 11 inches on both sides. Then I will sew it with my machine. Then I'll show it to you guys. Now guys, our bonnet is ready. Do you see it? Just gradually measure the 22 inches that I said. Place it, and as you are putting it, be adjusting it so that it will look so nice. Take your time, don't rush it. Just adjust it until you get to the 22 inches and it looks uniform. The folding should not be some side big, some side small. Just arrange it with your hands to be equal. Do you see it? So the next thing now, I'm going to put it on for us to see how it looks. So guys, this is the bonnet we have just made without elastic. The bonnet with band. Do you see how beautiful it looks? Do you see it? That's the bonnet we have just made. Isn't it beautiful? Try one for yourself. I'll now also put the back of it because it's 2-in-1 for us to also look how it looks. Now guys, this is the other side of the bonnet we have just made. Do you see it? You can rock it anyhow with the Ankara type or with this silk side of it. You can decide which one to rock. So guys, if this tutorial on how to make a double faced bonnet, 2-in-1 bonnet has been helpful to you, just give me a giant thumbs up. Like, share and comment on my videos, and don't forget to subscribe. Support me. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Consider subscribing. I believe you will learn 1 or 2 things from me. I remain your fashion teacher, IJ, and here is IJ Designs. See you in my next video. Bye.